Meanie in the building. Opinion so sharp, it cut you in your feelings. Minion with opinion, facts not feelings. Running up the views, yeah, the real ones feel it. Truth with the smoke, I ain't never concealing. Click, like, sub, I'm the one that's revealing. Scroll through the cap, I break the illusion. Commentary fire, I'm starting a movement. Catch these bars like it's court and I'm suing. Mic like a gavel and I'm judged, no losing. Snapbacks, hood facts, yeah, I'm in my bag. Viral with a vision, the facts will make you gag. Minion in the mix, yo DJ, bring it back. Y'all be ducking truth, I be swinging with the facts. They scrolling and trolling, but they still listening. I make them laugh, then I drop the conviction in. Politics, gossip, real life decisioning. Every upload hit like a Rico depositioning.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? It is the Minion with Opinion, aka Minion the God. What is good? How is everybody doing this Monday afternoon? Hope you guys are enjoying y'all Monday so far. But of course, you know, we got to start the show off.
What's up? What's up? Yo, Duke, pick up the phone. Yo, what's up? What you doing, son?
All right, y'all. So today we are going to be talking about some things that have come up after Charlie Kirk's death. So I know a lot of people have been talking about it, talking your ears off about it. I know y'all probably tired of talking about it. It's caused a big divide amongst America and Americans and a lot of different views. So a lot of people probably won't even like this video. But we are going to talk about, you know, the information that's been coming to light since, you know, the boy, the guy, the conservative activist, Charlie Kirk, his life was taken from us. Okay, so what's good, Mr. LC, to you? What's good? Nice to see that you made it live. So we're going to talk about it today. First, before we get into the show, guys, please do me a huge favor, like the video, go ahead, subscribe if you haven't already. But let's start off with looking at some advice that this guy, all these videos that we're actually going to be reacting to today actually came from Twitter or x.com or whatever you want to call it now. So a lot of these videos did come directly from there. Well, all of them did actually. So it's crazy because even though I didn't want to really do any research on the guy per se, you know, I just wanted to see what the salacious stuff was. As soon as I typed in his name, I pretty much grabbed all the first videos. So we're going to be reacting to those videos that I grabbed. So I really didn't watch them. Like, seriously, I don't know what's on these videos. The first, like, few seconds seemed very interesting. So I was like, okay, well, before I get into the video, let me go ahead and download it so we can do it on the show and do a live reaction to it. So this is going to be my live reaction as well as you guys. I want to know what you were thinking as well. So y'all let me know what y'all think in the chat. This is a little deviation from what we've been talking about lately, which is one particular person. We'll get back into that. Don't worry, we'll get back into that one particular person. However, I found this very interesting, like all of the different conspiracies, all of the different topics that people have been bringing up since this man's death. And so I'm like, okay, well, you know what? Let's do a reaction because this is kind of juicy. And I don't think that they want us to be talking about this on YouTube. I'm pretty sure they don't want us to be talking about this on YouTube, but we're going to talk about it today. So, With Frankie, oh look, Frankie Midler, what's good, Frankie? I just learned about you. I'm late to the party. I learned about you from Cooking with Frank. That's what's up. I'm glad. But today we're not talking about that mess. We're talking about another type of mess. So it's going to be interesting to see what these videos bring to light. But like I said, before we start on those videos, I did want us to get a little bit of advice. I watched this video all the way through. I said, you want to know what? This is something good. Maybe we should start the show off with some advice for the people so that y'all feel like, you know, y'all not just getting a whole bunch of negative information. This is more conspiracy theory video, so if y'all don't like conspiracy theories, I think a lot of the stuff that they're saying is based somewhat in facts. We're gonna figure it out. I don't know. Like I said, I haven't seen any of these videos, but some of these videos were very well produced. Like, it looked like they actually did this on a set. So I'm hoping that some of this information is gonna be really useful and really good for us. Let's watch this video.
Is why you do not eat with people you don't like. Watch this.
You say one of the things that you should do is never eat with people you don't like.
Because your state of awareness will influence how your food is metabolized. There was a study done in Ohio State University where they were feeding rabbits diets that were extremely high in cholesterol. And they found to their amazement there was one group of rabbits that never got the high cholesterol levels. After a while, they found out that the technician who was feeding these rabbits, instead of just throwing the food at them, he would stroke them and pet them and cuddle them and kiss them and then feed them the same poisonous food. But now, as a result of that experience of happiness, they made chemicals inside their brain and the body that turned the cholesterol into a completely different metabolic pathway.
So that's crazy, because that means that when you're stressed out and you're eating, that could actually be what's hurting you. So let's just finish this video, because I thought it was pretty interesting.
Making the crucial difference between life and death from what kills more people in our civilization than anything else. So it's not just the food you eat, but what your awareness, what your consciousness and your state of emotions is at the time you're eating. It will metabolize the food into an appropriate or inappropriate metabolic
And that's
pathway.
why if you're somebody like me who's a stressful eater, you know, you eat and rather than confront whatever the problem is, you eat to ease the stress.
Well, then
it turns into something else.
Yes. See, your state of mind.
Okay, y'all listen, your state of mind. It's about your state of mind.
Can convert nectar into poison and the other way around too. Poison into nectar. What happens inside your body is influenced by your consciousness. So it's very important. In fact, one of the things I tell people is if you're not feeling good, skip the meal.
All right, so that's a word of advice that I just learned myself when I was watching these videos. So I just learned that. And so, you guys, if you're stressed out, it's better to not eat. I mean, or to maybe meditate or something before you eat. I don't know. But what he just said was that basically if you eat, you can eat the same healthy food, but if you're stressed out, that it's not going to metabolize the way it would if you weren't stressed out. It's food for thought. Food for thought. All right, so let's get into the first video that I wanted to talk about. I don't have these videos in any particular order. I do have like a little title on the video, but I really don't know what we're going to be looking at. So first thing, guys, like I said, some of these videos were very highly, produced, and this is one of them. As you guys can see, he looks like he's really in a news studio. So we're going to see what these people are talking about. Let's get into it now.
Charlie Kirk's death was no random tragedy. It was the opening act of a manufactured civil war, orchestrated down to the last frame. Inside stamped folders leaked from the CIA and NASA are memos, timelines and kill chains. A plan so clinical it reads like a script. Assassinate the loudest voices in America on live TV amplified the shock and turned grief into a weapon. As the nation lights candles and points fingers, the paper trail shows this didn't happen overnight. It was plotted for years. 2025 wasn't random, it was the target date chosen by the globalists to sharpen division in America into something irreversible.
Alright, so guys, that's us starting off. Pretty wild accusations just off the rip, right? And so I haven't gotten this far into the video, but he's basically saying that this has been orchestrated for years. That whatever just happened to Charlie Kirk was something that has been planned for years. Now that's wild. Let's see if he has any information to substantiate those claims. But what's good, Miss Smart? How you doing? Yay! I'm glad you're here too. And you know what? Let me just blow on you guys who are speaking in the chat. That's for all of y'all who have spoken in the chat. Thank y'all for speaking. Also, guys, hit the like button. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. Let's continue watching because what he is saying, I mean, those are some pretty heavy claims to be making about what happened to this guy.
Tonight, we tear open those files. We follow the architects, the dates, the back-channel meetings. We don't preach, we have the receipts. We show you what's written in black and white. If you think this is paranoia, you're exactly who they counted on. If you think you already know the truth, think again. Before we get into all of that, let's talk about staying one step ahead of the deep state via our partner VP.net. VP.net isn't just another VPN, it's the next evolution in private browsing. Built as deep state operatives or foreign bad actors are locked up without bail in a Utah jail. But the story of being fed is already cracking. The official narrative says he carried out the hit with a Mauser rifle, but video shows him bolting from the rooftop empty-handed, just seconds after the shots. And weapons experts are clear. You can't break down and reassemble a Mauser on the move in a matter of seconds. So if Robinson didn't pull the trigger the way the FBI claims, the question isn't just what happened, it's why are they lying to us about it? The FBI's official narrative stretches credibility.
Okay, so now he's saying that basically what they're saying, the rifle or the weapon that was used isn't something that you can easily dismantle and put in a backpack and run off with. Okay, I mean, I don't know, so I'm really just gonna take his word, so let's just keep listening.
Even further, by claiming the rifle was recovered in the woods with its barrel fully reinstalled. That would mean the suspect somehow disassembled and then reassembled a Mauser, a process that is anything but quick or simple, all while fleeing the scene. Conservative commentator Michael Savage is calling
Okay, I think something's off.
Process that is anything but quick or simple, all while fleeing the scene. Conservative commentator Michael Savage is calling foul on the FBI's account of the shooting, saying we're not hearing or seeing reality, and declaring the official narrative reeks of a staged event.
Now, the Mauser does not break down very easily, incidentally, for those of you who know weapons. Something's wrong with the whole thing. They're trying to claim he removed the barrel from the Mauser and fit the receiver and stock in his backpack and barrel in his pants leg, all in 2 seconds. It is not easy to remove a Mauser barrel or index it after reinstalling and remain accurate.
Well, I mean, if he says it's not easy, that's not him necessarily saying it's impossible. Maybe if he's practiced for long enough, maybe he was able to get it down pat so where he can do it in a timely manner. So I don't know if this really debunks that, but let's keep listening.
We are not hearing or seeing reality. And by the way, the photo of the rifle allegedly left in the woods has the barrel installed. So we're supposed to believe a guy is on the run after killing Charlie Kirk, and he pauses in the woods to reinstall a barrel, and then he leaves it for us to find, the FBI to find. I don't believe a word of it. I shouldn't do this. I know I'm putting myself at risk, but I can't take it anymore. I can't take the bullshit from this fucking government is lying to us. Something's wrong.
Now, this guy, I mean, obviously he does a news show or some type of broadcasting show, but he looks pretty patriotic to me. It doesn't look like he has any reason to just be throwing out conspiracy theories. So I don't know. Savage Nation, I never heard of him, but you know, maybe he's onto something. I didn't know about Charlie Kirk till I looked at my TikTok after work. Exactly. I didn't know nothing about this guy. What's good? Tanya Robinson in the building. What's good? Let me get you Alright, so let's keep watching. This is crazy though. It's been so much chaos and so much controversy and so much division amongst this around this topic that I just, I went to Twitter and they were literally blowing up my timeline with these crazy conspiracies. So let's just keep watching.
Something's so wrong, it's sickening. Look at this idiot. They found the rifle and are getting the prints. Are you stupid? Are you that stupid? Are you that dumb? The man jumps off the roof. There's no rifle there. Oh, it's in his backpack. I just told you, moron, that this rifle doesn't break down that easily. And then it's supposed to be reassembled while he's on the run. Wait, I'll stop now and reassemble it and leave it in the woods in a box. Wrap.
Now that doesn't make sense. He does have a point there. That doesn't make sense. Why reassemble the rifle?
In a towel. He left breadcrumbs. Oh, and the trans stuff on the cartridges. Bullshit. Something is wrong with this whole fucking picture.
People are noticing the same silhouettes, the same gestures. The man who played a leading role in the Trump assassination attempt in Butler, Pennsylvania, was also standing behind Charlie Kirk, signaling before the shot rang out. Just 20 minutes after Charlie Kirk was gunned down at Utah Valley University, a private jet quietly lifted off from Provo Airport, a private airfield less than 12 minutes away from the scene of the crime. The aircraft, bearing the tail number N888KG, is deliberately hidden from public tracking at the request of its owner, a red flag in itself. But what happened after takeoff is even more unsettling.
Yo. Wow. Okay, so they think that the people that were around him, the ones that were doing all the hand gestures and signaling and all that, it sounds like they're alleging that they were all a part of it. Wow. Okay, what's good? I said what I said. What's up? He sound like conscious when he talking about Jed. Are you stupid? That is hilarious.
Roughly 30 minutes into its flight, the jet suddenly dropped off ADS-B tracking, as if it had vanished into thin air. For nearly an hour, there was no trace of it at all. And then, just as abruptly, it reappeared, heading back towards Provo, as though nothing had happened. Why is there so much confusion and weirdness surrounding the incident? And how could the suspect escape capture for more than 2 days? Because confusion isn't an accident, it's part of the playbook. The stranger and messier the details look, the easier it is to bury the truth under noise. Conflicting timelines, shaky video, contradictory statements. All of it keeps people arguing about side issues instead of asking the real question. Who's running the show? Here's a clue.
See, that's probably... So what he's saying is that it's strategic. The reason why the right people, the right side is just going in on the left side right now, just kind of blaming everything on the left and really kind of demonizing the left side because it's all a part of a distraction. Is that what he's saying? This is... I mean... It's not too far-fetched to where you can't believe it, though.
Before his death, Charlie Kirk turned down a funding offer from Netanyahu and confided that he felt pressured and threatened by powerful Israeli forces. A close friend now tells the Grey Zone that this was the turning point. Kirk's shift on Israel sparked a backlash that left him shaken, angry, and afraid for his life.
I think in the end, Charlie was going through a spiritual transformation. I don't think it, I know it. He was going through a lot, and there was a lot of pressure, and it's hard for me to...
So, I think that, because I have been seeing this a lot, and I think it might come up in some of the videos after this one, but could it be that Charlie Kirk was really questioning, like, the type of person that he had become or something? Like, maybe he started questioning where his alliances were, and you know, maybe if he had made the right decision. Did he ever team up with Israel? I don't know. I don't really know nothing about him. All I know is that everything that I've been seeing just seems so bizarre and like off the rip crazy that, you know, at this point, I don't know what to believe, y'all. They always blame a scapegoat. This is true. That's part of the plan. They gotta have somebody that's willing to take the fall. Whoever heard of Charlie? Who cares? He's dead. So what? This man makes a good point. Something ain't adding up. Tanya, it ain't. I don't even know who this man is, but he obviously is a big figure in the political realm, because Donald Trump had people have their flags waved half tilt or whatever. So let's just keep watching, because this is crazy, and this is just one of the videos.
Watch the people who were pressuring him, I don't know, just say the things that they're saying. You know, there's something about it that just feels really fake. Feels really fake to me. And they would have allowed him to lose and wanted him to lose everything for changing or even slightly modifying an opinion. And then to see them doing what they're doing today, it's hurtful to me. It's very hurtful to me. But I don't want today to be about anything other than you guys knowing that Charlie really was an amazing person. You know, he was like, we were really close. And he was my best friend and my brother.
Now, see, this is where it gets to the point where can I even really just believe what she's saying? Because the fake tears, the best friend, my brother, you know, that you don't have to lay it on that heavy. Like, you ain't got to do all that. Now I'm like side-eyeing you, because now I'm like, is this a show? Or, you know, what are we doing here? But let's just keep watching.
And I will never unsee the footage of what I saw, the violence of it.
It just seems like she's working really hard to get a tear to squeeze out that eye. She is really trying, but it's just not happening. It's all right, Candace. We don't need you to cry.
Charlie was right to be terrified. His spiritual transformation involved him realizing some politically inconvenient things that even a massive bribe from Benjamin Netanyahu couldn't convince him to forget about. At that instant, Kirk stopped being just a commentator and became the opening casualty in a blueprint written before 9/11. A string of false flags designed to terrorize a nation and turn disagreement into all-out war. Suddenly, it makes sense why the government are treating his death like they would a military or elected official, and why he's being...
And he talked funny too. Like a military or elected official. Now they are saying in this news that they are going to take him to Washington. Like, his voice is kind of funny to me. Let's see here. I believe it was some nefarious-ish going on to the flick from the Epstein files. But the way, it's so crazy. You gonna see I said what I said, because once you get through all of these conspiracy theories, it's almost like, is it just about the Epstein files, or is it something even bigger? Everyone's suspect now, and black folks are being blamed. Exactly? That was the first people that they tried to blame. They thought they was gonna blame. He helped the Agent Orange get elected. The young white man, he helped turn those votes. All right, let's keep watching.
Buried in state at the Capitol. Trump knows this was a state assassination, and Kirk is a fallen soldier. Sounds extreme? Sounds impossible? Listen to what the deep state government files actually say. We'll be right back, and when we come back, we put the documents on the table. Let's be real. We've all been fed the lie.
He took his shirt off and unbuttoned. Okay, so he said, let's be real. He said, let me unbutton my shirt so y'all can take me serious. He should have rolled up his sleeves too. Tanya says, he was a MAGA recruiter. I have never in my life, I'm not surprised what Candace is trying to pull off. Candace, who listens to her? Yeah, nobody.
That wrinkle creams are the ticket to looking young. I call bullshit. Dr. John Lake, a renegade beauty expert out of Beverly Hills, says that's a scam. Most of those fixes are just overpriced lotions that do nothing, or worse, mess up your skin. He says that he's done with the scammy cosmetic industry. Why? Because he wants to expose something they don't want you to know about.
One of his commercials.
A 2-minute trick that's like for 2 million views.
It's so
because
funny how these
Civil
people-
War, starting in, wait for it,
Wait a minute.
leaked official NASA and CIA documents reveal decades of high-level globalist preparations for a series of assassinations and false flags, designed to spark a manufactured civil war starting in, wait for it, 2025.
A document that actually is a PowerPoint presentation by Dennis Bushnell, the chief NASA scientist at the Langley Center. And it was presented in 2001, July of 2001, just a few months before 9/11. And what brought my attention to it and immediately rang some uncomfortable realizations was when we first came across it. It says on the website, Future Strategic Issues, Future Warfare circa 2025. And as I decided to just flip through it quickly to see what it was about, I was a little stunned on page 4. It said, the presentation is based in all cases upon existing data, trends, analysis technologies, no pixie dust.
And was this intentional? Did they want the public to see this, do you think, or?
Well, again, the Illuminati, the most wealthy, rich men on the face of the planet, always telegraph everything that they're going to do. So the fact that it was on the NASA website, it was certainly available to the public, but did they see it? Obviously not. Because had they looked at this document...
I still haven't seen it. I wonder if it's still there. We're going to have to do some research and investigating and see if that's still on the NASA's website. Circa 2025, because that could just be something that they just trying to put out propaganda so they could rile people up, but it could also be real.
You would know about it right now.
Here's where it gets really disturbing. According to the documents, published just before 9/11, the plan to launch the Chaos in 2025 involves assassinating Americans on live TV for maximum public trauma. Sound familiar?
What it said, which was quite shocking, on page 93, it said, capture, torture Americans in living color on prime time. And that is an unbelievable statement. Then it's followed up by saying terror attacks within the continental United States using binary biologicals take down critical infrastructure. They are going to use an EMP, which is an electromagnetic pulse. They're going to use radiation frequencies against our brain.
Okay, so That's pretty much what just happened to Charlie Kirk on primetime TV. That's what we're talking about. Him getting shot publicly. That's kind of...
etc. And conduct serious war and collateral damage and exploitation. On the same page 93, they say exploit CNN syndrome. Now, CNN, of course, is the network, the news media network.
The brutal fact is that Israel leads global assassinations over the last 5 years, accounting for 80% of the approximately 1,000 total cases worldwide. That's a verified fact. Go on and ask Grok. And if you don't believe they would dare to carry out assassinations on US soil, ask yourself why they've been involved behind the scenes in every mass casualty, even on US soil, in the last 50 years, including 9/11. Just ask Tucker Carlson, the very figure Charlie Kirk was.
So, is he saying that Israel is a part of this? I think I missed something.
Beginning to mirror in his fearless pursuit of truth. And that, insiders say, is exactly what powerful forces were desperate to prevent.
No, of course I didn't allege that, the Jews did it. I don't even know what that means. I think, in fact, saying things like that is a way to discredit real questions.
Right.
Like, we know, Benjamin Netanyahu on camera right after said this is a good thing because it brings the United States into a conflict that we've been involved in on an existential level for decades. He said that out loud. I'm not guessing, you can pull the tape. We know that a group of Israeli art students, who clearly were not art students, clearly some of them were aligned with Israeli intelligence, were arrested and held for quite some time in the United States before being released without charges. And we know that a group of them, again, I'm quoting an FBI document here, not the internet, filmed the attacks on 9/11, and I'm quoting, seemed to have foreknowledge of those attacks. Now, you were not allowed to follow up in any of this. Fox News did a series with Britt Hume and Carl Cameron, which many people have seen in a bootleg version on the internet, but they did it within weeks, saying, what is this? There was an Israeli spy ring in the United States, and they clearly knew 9/11 was coming. This is Fox News. They pulled that.
I think we all knew that there was some intel that had to have known that 9/11 was going to take place prior to when it happened. And I don't think that, it is still a conspiracy theory, but I think that is a lot of people think that, we had intelligence that knew 9/11 was going to happen prior to it happening.
Pressure, they pulled that off the internet. It's not searchable in any Fox News archive, but they aired it. I know the people who did it. Of course, I worked with them for years. They're real people. They're not crazy. In fact, they're pro-Israel, but they had a fact set before them and they reported it, which is called journalism. And subsequent generations have been forbidden from noting what is now factually true. Those are factually true statements. Now, we tried to interview some of those people. One lives in the United States, in California, and made no headway whatsoever. And we knew as we did it, by the way, that we're going to be attacked as anti-Semites or something.
Carlson understands how the system functions, but does he understand how deep the conspiracy goes? Jewish writer Jacob Cohen explains the saying, tens of thousands of civilian Jews around the world who spy for Israel.
So basically, he's saying that Fox ran a story on it, did the journalism work on it, and since they released it, they have not even been able to talk about it anymore. And you can't find any record of the stories that they did on it.
Spread propaganda and help Mossad.
The Zionim are tens of thousands of people, Jews, Zionists, who are members probably of the Bnei Brit, for instance. Bnei Brit is the Jewish Masonry, who occupy high level in all the societies. You can imagine 5,000 Zionim in New York, only in the business area. 5,000 Zionim in Los Angeles, in the production area, in the artistic area. And you can, in France, in London, you can imagine 1,000 Zionim in the medias. you can imagine, and they receive orders from the Mossad, from a department of the Mossad called the War Department. And they work for the
War Department. Didn't Hegseth just want to change the name of the Department of Defense to the Department of War?
It means that all these people who have their work, who work normally, they are citizens. I mean, they work in a bank, they are political, they are publishers. But when the Mossad call them and tell them, look, I need an information. I need, for instance, I need that all the Sayanim in all over the world say that this person, for instance, the Secretary General of the United Nations, has said something anti-Semitic. And you see all over the world, in Europe, in New York, the medias, you have the impression, I mean, when I discovered that, I understood. I mean, it's like when you light the light on, you know, because suddenly you open a newspaper, you listen to a radio, you hear a politician, everybody says the Secretary General of the United States said something anti-Semitic. I mean, the poor guy, and why? Because the Mossad gave the order to do that. And I can say, for instance, the example of Gilad Shalit, you know, the Israeli soldier kidnapped by the Hamas. In 24 hours, his name was known all over the world. I mean, even if it was an American general who was kidnapped, his name would never have been mentioned. Gilad Shalit, in 24 hours, became a celebrity in the universe. And this is the work of the Sayanim.
Remember the private jet that took off from Provo Airfield straight after the attack with its radar illegally turned off? Take a look at who owns it. Just another coincidence in the on-air assassination that raises more questions.
Yeah, what they say, the owner of the NBBV KG jet that flew out of the Provo after Charlie Kirk was murdered, Derek Porter Maxfield, has donated via the Derek and Shalani Maxfield Family Foundation to the Shabbat Lubavitch of Utah Organization for Hasidic Jews. Oh. What's good, Reality Check TV? Thank you for joining. Like I said, this is not the regular typical show. We actually talking about some conspiracy theory shit. So it may not, I don't know. Tanya, smoke and mirrors, all deflections. Definitely seems like it's something bigger
and
going
one
on.
that slots neatly into the long-promised globalist plan to destabilize the United States. You be the judge. Here at The People's Voice, we're determined to continue exposing the crimes of the elite, but we need your help.
Alright guys, so that was pretty much this video. The next thing I want us to look at before we get into more of the conspiracy theories though, are circling Charlie Kirk. I want us to, let's look at this video of a debate that Charlie Kirk was hosting. And so this is about an 18-minute debate, and we're going to watch it. And let's just kind of look at what kind of person Charlie Kirk was. I know this is probably not a good representation. I have not seen this debate. I don't know what they're going to be talking about. I don't think it's one of the infamous debates where he had one of them horrible quotes that have been floating around. But this is one of his debates, and it's going to give us an idea of, I guess, who this person was and some of his views, hopefully. So, yeah, let's just go ahead and watch it. like I said, this is going to be actually a long video, a long live video. So if y'all want to pop in and pop out, go handle business, come back in, you might be able to do that, because I'm going to be here for a while, because there's a lot of information to look at and to dissect. And so afterwards, hopefully we'll feel a little bit more educated. But with all these conspiracies, we may have more questions by the end of this. But hopefully, with us looking at all this, we can feel a little bit more educated about who this person was. And then we can start diving into why this happened. All right.
Yes, sir.
All right. Is this thing on? Oh, yeah, I guess it is. All right. My name is Blake.
Watch out, everybody. The master debater is here. Get him out. There's freedom of speech. If you don't like it,
Not the master debater. If y'all don't know what he's talking about, that's from South Park, where he was talking about he's the master debater.
Why don't come up to the mic? Come on. Come up to the mic. Come on. Come on. Come up to the mic. No, come on. Come up to the mic. Since you're so smart, show the world how smart you are. We'll give you our mic, not your bullhorn, so come on up. So now we know that you're like a blatant narcissist that needs attention at all times to cut in line.
You told that man to come up, and then he gonna try to call him out talking about, now we know you're a blatant narcissist that needs to cut the line. Man, stop gaslighting. You called that man out because he called you out and he took you up on your offer. You wanted him to come to the mic, he came to the mic. Tanya says, I don't believe that paperwork. You know, like I said, by the end of this video, we might have more questions than we have answers. Because, you know, you also got to question the paperwork too. But it is kind of crazy because that video did look old. And now we have this on our hands and we're talking about this. I got the time today, man, even if it's just you and I at the end. Oh, that's what I'm talking about. Hopefully, you know, you can help me figure out what's going on with all this stuff. I watched one of his videos. He is a racist as hell. The way he talked about black people, he set the tone for his own demise. A lot of people are saying that. Let's watch.
Tell us what's so pressing that you needed to interrupt us before he could even talk.
So, let's talk about the 200 people deported without due process to El Salvador. I don't know if you saw this morning, but a United States citizen was actually deported.
It was not a U.S. citizen. That's not correct.
Liar.
It's not a U.S. citizen. It
What?
was actually...
Come on.
No, it was someone that was living here. Yeah, it was not a U.S. citizen.
Hey, this guy just f***ing lies. He's like,
you know, I'm not even about to even entertain a conversation if you're just about to start off with just complete, utter, blatant lies. You know that this administration has deported American people. They've deported American babies with sicknesses and diseases. Don't try to just make it seem like this man is just coming up with, you know, make-believe information. Like, don't do that. If you're going to debate him, but don't be out here just lying now.
it's not.
No.
Hey, no. You wanna have a debate, but you don't.
It was
debate.
not a U.S. citizen, first of all.
You want to have a debate, but you actually don't debate. There's nothing more ill-faith than this.
So
you're not.
we already have a mic.
Name 2 times. Name 2 times where you've changed your
Show
mind.
me you're losing without telling me you're losing.
So, I mean, this really doesn't look like somebody that's debating or trying to bring unity to people with different views or anything. It sounds like he's basically just trying to belittle and ostracize this guy because he has a different view. That's what it looks like to me. I mean, I haven't seen any of his debates. This is my first time watching it. Not a fan.
What? So you're just gonna lie?
Well, first of all, it's not a U.S. citizen. He was living here for a while. He was part of MS-13. Answer yes or no.
Okay.
Should
he was part of MS-13? Something that nobody has definitively been able to prove for none of these people. In fact, if you do your research on MS-13 members, a lot of them have very definitive, very clear tattoos that show that they're part of this organization. So, again, he's just blatantly lying from what I can hear.
members of a terrorist organization be able to stay in the United States after they've murdered, raped, and gone after American citizens?
Obviously, no.
So we have deported those people back to their country.
The Fifth Amendment
That's what they've done.
calls for due
The Fifth
process.
Amendment does not apply to foreign
That's
citizens
bullshit.
that are
It says-
here
it says
illegally.
all persons.
No. It's only
No.
to U.S. citizens.
That's a f***ing lie.
It does not say only U.S. citizens. So why is it, I mean, now this is my first time watching him, so maybe if y'all are people who support this guy and support what he's done, maybe y'all could send me something that doesn't show him just completely obliterating the truth with these, like, this is just complete and total propaganda. Like, whatever he's talking right here, nothing is based in facts. So it's kind of turning me off.
He's a liar.
So, okay.
He can't debate. He just lies.
You've now sworn like 3 times. Let's just
What,
calm
you don't
down
like
a little
freedom
bit.
of speech?
Well, I mean, you could say whatever you want if you want to make a fool of yourself, but we do have like 10-year-olds here and 11-year-olds, so can we
don't
have some
care.
decency?
Whatever.
Okay, you don't care. You're a typical leftist because you only care about yourself,
Who said I was
not
a
about the
leftist?
other people.
Who said I was a leftist?
Well, it's very clear by how you're acting. Let me ask you a
See, he don't even know who that man is, what his views are. He just wants to put something on that man, and guess what? Because of his audience, all of the people around him are going to be shouting it. They don't even know if that man's a left or a right, or what his views are. And this is the dangerous part of the stuff that people like this are doing in this country. This is dangerous. You're getting a whole group of people to go after one person instead of trying to give him the respect and the dignity that he deserves because he had the courage to come up and speak against you. The whole time you want to just belittle and ridicule and make a mockery of this guy. Like, that's not cool. And you're not even using any facts to do it. Everything that you're saying is based in just lies and propaganda.
question. Should we be able to deport terrorists that are here in the United States?
With due process.
And we gave them due process.
What was the due process?
They were part of MS-13. It was very clear.
No,
and
that
now
is
they're
not
in
true.
El Salvadorian jail.
That literally
But
isn't true.
Most
also,
importantly,
why wouldn't they just get deported? Why would they get sent to a jail?
Well, deported to a jail. By the way, many of these people
not even their country. They're not from El Salvador.
Many of these people were already in prisons for crimes that they committed against the United States of America. So do we have a right to decide who is in the interior of the United States?
Yeah.
Okay, so then what's your big disagreement?
It's called due process.
Again, the due process,
Hold on.
if every single one of them got their own trial and their own date.
They did not get a trial.
If they
That's
got
the
that,
problem.
if they got that, it would take us 10 years to deport like 200 people. We have a constitution.
See, this is what I'm talking about. Everything that he's saying is just completely, unequivocally false. This is just all lies that's coming out of his mouth. And this is what people think a great debater is. This is what people think a conservative activist should sound and look like. I'm sorry, but y'all, no. This cannot be the person that the President of the United States of America was requiring people to bring a flag halfway down for. This is the person that y'all had sent on Air Force 2. Y'all are giving a military funeral to? For what? What is this man doing that warrants him being so celebrated. Again, this is my first time watching a debate, but just in the first few minutes, I'm completely turned off because it's every talking point that he's making is based in make believe. Now, what he's saying is complete propaganda, is complete just nonsense.
Right to be under the Alien Invaders Act of 1798 to be able to
We're
repel.
not at war.
Well, hold on.
1798.
We are at war. We've been invaded by 10 million people over the last 4 years.
Congress has to declare.
That's what I'm talking about. Like, how could you even take this man serious? We are at war. We've been invaded by 10 million people over the last 10 years or whatever he just said. Are you kidding me? Really? These are the people that have been paying into Social Security and not being able to even withdraw it out. But they're paying into it. These are the people that everyone, all these rich billionaires and millionaires and business owners are using for their cheaper labor. But we're at war with them now? And y'all wonder what would happen to him. We're at war?
Actually, that's not correct. Congress never declared war against Iraq. We never declared war against Afghanistan. We actually never had an official declaration of war against Vietnam.
Well, everybody
the President
knows
of the United States.
But we're at war with the people who we let in to help us build our economy.
It's war crimes
Hold on.
every day.
Okay, that's a separate issue.
And
but
supports
let's
Israel
stay
committing
let's stay
genocide.
focused. Who is the commander in chief?
Donald Trump.
Yes. So if the praise God.
Praise God.
So if the commander in chief labels an invasion, it is an invasion. So when Venezuela opens up their prisons and sends in and murder to the interior of the United States, we have the right.
Proof.
We have give you proof. The Venezuelan government has been found with a bipartisan congressional study that they have been sending the worst of their citizens to our country to increase crime, to kill people like Lake and Riley, to come into our communities. We have the opportunity and the ability, based on the laws of the land.
And I hate how these people use one example to justify a complete crisis. Now it's a war because one person became victim to a crime. They sensationalize all this stuff so that they can further perpetuate this narrative of division, of, this is creating chaos and some type of scenario to where they can make it martial law. Like, this is what they're trying to do.
And to say that this is an invasion from a foreign country and we are repelling it. And by the way, how is it not an invasion when 10 million people come into your country uninvited?
That is an unfact number.
Okay, then let me ask, what is an invasion? What is an invasion?
I would call an invasion. I would call an invasion similar to Israel taking Gaza.
Hold on.
That's an invasion.
You see, this is what I'm saying. These sycophants that are in the audience that can't stand that this man may actually have a point, because everything that's coming out of Charlie Kirk's mouth is just complete lies at this point. I don't trust none of the shit that he says at this point. He's no longer with us. But if I'm just going based off of what I'm looking at right now, this is my first time looking at one of these debates. He's garbage. He's trash. The world may be a better place without him. If you ask me, the hell we gotta be outraged for this bullshit.
Hold on. No. Don't give me like a definition, like a textbook. What use?
No, bitch. You give me a definition. What you think an invasion is? Because an invasion is not people coming over here, paying into your economy, putting money into your economy that they can't get back out, paying taxes, building infrastructure, because these are the people that you see building the damn freeways, building these subdivisions out. These are the people doing the farmland and agriculture. So how are they invading?
Define the term.
It's a military conflict.
Okay, so what you mean when they come with weapons and they're all military-age men and they come into the interior of the United States and that they're being prompted by a government or a cartel? How is that not a invasion?
He's not a king.
What?
No. Answer the question. I never said he was a king. He's a duly elected president. So is it not an invasion?
No. It's called illegal immigration. And you do it, and you solve it via due process.
Okay,
it's not
so
an invasion.
At what point would it become an invasion?
See, this is somebody who he can't debate with. This man is telling him, and he's not even. You can tell he's just like really kind of surprised at how crazy this man is. Gaslighting is their specialty, absolutely. We got Artist Boutique in the building. Artist says an invasion is what the U.S. does to almost every continent in the world. U.S. never minds the U.S.'s business. Agree. Exactly. They give us cheap labor. How the hell they invading? And we using them to build our own businesses. Hell.
Probably whenever they like tear down the border and actually like steamroll in with military like vehicles.
Yeah, we would have no idea what that would look like, right?
No, we do know what it look like. It's what's happening in Israel and Gaza right now.
Okay, that's a whole separate issue that I'm happy to talk to you about.
It's a perfect example of an invasion.
No, hold on.
How is it not?
I actually agree that Israel has invaded Gaza. I agree. Okay, because they're using sophisticated military equipment like the Venezuelan cartel and the drug and the Sinaloan drug cartels.
They're
Secondly,
being funded by the
it's
United
planned by
States.
governments. Second, it's planned by governments. Third, and most importantly, do you think 10 million people that have come into this country since Joe Biden was president, was that good for America?
To be clear, I don't think you're here to actually have a debate because clearly you never change your mind. No. So well, I'm actually not here to debate you.
I've asked you 5 or 6 questions
you're
and you
haven't.
faith
person.
Yeah, you interrupted me.
Hey, do you condemn Elon Musk doing Nazi salutes?
Oh, so
do you? It's simple.
It's very simple. It was not enough.
Wow! You guys see this? Like, he's like, okay, because you're not really here to debate. You're really here to push your talking points. And then whoever says anything against anything that you're saying, you're going to try to shame them in front of everybody so that everyone still doesn't listen to what they're saying and doesn't take them serious. So debating with him is obviously like it would be in vain. It's not even worth it. But he just asked a very simple question. Do you agree with Elon Musk doing a Nazi salute? Obviously, we see he's about to deflect.
Salute.
Do it.
See, I have done it multiple.
I love him. He said to do it. You agree with it? Do it. Do it right now. You agree with it? Do it. He's like, I've done it many times. Well, do it. We don't want to hear about all the times that you've done it in the past. Do it now. You fucking hypocrite.
Times. No, let me interrupt you. That is a bad faith question and argument. You just did a Nazi salute. You're a Nazi. I can't believe it. Nazi.
You see, this is what I'm saying. You see this? How do you take this serious? This is crazy right here.
Nazi. Get this Nazi off our campus.
Slams it down to their chest like
okay.
Elon Musk did.
How about this? You and I
he
both
supports
know.
right-wing.
You and I both know that
in Germany.
Okay,
of
you
all
and I
countries.
both know that Elon Musk is not a Nazi. It's such a ridiculous, preposterous thing to say. And
how do we know that? Why is it ridiculous? Why is it preposterous? How do we know that Elon Musk is not a Nazi? Somebody please tell me. Because I don't. I saw him do a Nazi salute. I've seen many Nazi haircuts that he's made to make himself look like, you know.
You
then
are
why
mad.
Are we using American police to protect his dealerships?
Well, hold on a second. If any place of private property is torched,
why does
your home or a college campus,
why does the richest
shouldn't it be
person in
protected?
the world need our money to protect his property?
Hold on a second. If
this is starting to get good. Yeah, we need to know the answers. He's making some really good points.
Dealerships or if private property is threatened by a mob, that is the role of the police to protect private property. Whether it be a Wendy's being burned by Black Lives Matter or a Tesla dealership being burnt by angry people like you, the police should protect private property.
Wow. So now he's throwing black people under the bus in his debate. Like, damn, what do we do? That's pretty messed up. I mean, we don't even know you like that, sir.
From swarms and mobs and hordes of people that would never build something themselves, want to destroy the property of others. The first and final cause of government is to protect private property rights. That is a good role of the United States Police Force or the FBI or the ATF.
Of the police protecting the dealerships before they even, before a mob is even there.
Hold on, preemptive.
Do you think that's a good use of taxpayer dollars?
Hundreds of Tesla
billionaires' property.
Hold on a second. It's not just billionaires' property. He employs well over 100,000 people. Tesla stock is held by teachers across the country,
and it's dropping not because of Americans, but because of Europe.
Do you want it to? Do you want it to drop?
Absolutely.
See that is a sick and twisted worldview.
What you want? You want?
It is.
How is him having that view a sick and twisted worldview because it doesn't align with yours? So now it's sick and twisted? See, this is the type of stuff that I'm talking about. This is the dangerous rhetoric that he uses that will cause people to say, okay, he got to be stopped. He got to be stopped. Like, what do you mean? I mean, there's nothing that we have to worry about now, but that's crazy. This is crazy. This is on a college campus full of white people, full of impressionable people, and this is what it gotta stop. It gotta stop. It has to stop.
Target's stock to drop whenever they have an LGBT flag
hold on a
in
second.
their stock?
First of all, Target doesn't really... let me explain. Target doesn't really make anything. Oh, that's nice. Thank you. So Target does not really make anything in this country. That's a separate issue. Tesla...
You're saying the same thing about the dealerships.
Allow me
they
to...
They don't make anything. They just hold the cars.
Allow me to finish. You understand all Tesla dealerships are owned by Tesla, and they're manufactured in America and designed by Americans, they're made in America.
They're not designed. They're not all made in America.
Hold on a second. Most Teslas are made in America. So what you are cheering for is the disenfranchisement and unemployment of Americans. And that goes back to my point.
But Elon Musk is the same person that came in and dismantled the entire federal government and got rid of hundreds of thousands of jobs. He got rid of many more times the amount of jobs that he provides. He got rid of probably 2-3 times the amount of jobs that he provides the U.S. with. So, what are you talking about?
is that from you interrupting to coming up to the mic, you are an agitator or a leftist that would never be able to build something yourself.
I work in construction and have since they.
This man is literally eating him for breakfast, and now he's having lunch with him, and I'm pretty sure soon he's going to be finishing him off for dinner, because this man is a complete clown. Whoever this Charlie Kirk person is a complete lunatic, is a complete clown. And at this point, I thought, maybe looking at these videos, I would feel some kind of way, but now, it is what it is, okay? Charlie Kirk don't realize that Q&A is like a debate, and this is who Jared wants to be. Exactly, Artist Boutique. This is who he's trying to be now. How did our name get into it? Thank you. And Elon is an immigrant. That part is always forgotten, artists. These people always forget that. They never throw that into the damn equation.
14.
Well, you're not working today, and it is a weekday.
Actually, I took off work, and it's lunch hour.
But let me further complete my point.
Worked 20 hours this week.
Allow me to
this
further.
Isn't a job.
Wow, 20.
You call this
20
a job?
hours? Wow.
Yeah,
and look what the fuck you're doing. You're not out there hammering anything. You're not doing anything that's building anything. In fact, you're dividing people. You're not building unity. You're causing division. So, and then you want to talk about this man who's gainfully employed, who works in construction, building buildings. Instead of giving him the props that he deserves, you want to belittle and talk about him. Shame on you. And I hope you repented.
It's Tuesday. I started yesterday.
Allow me to further complete my point, which is that it is easy to interrupt and to scold and to insult. You know what's hard? To go actually build a company like Tesla or SpaceX. And how about you say thank you for Elon Musk rescuing...
Wow. You see, this is what I'm talking about. The gaslighting. This is gaslighting at its highest form.
Those astronauts that were stranded by Joe Biden. Can you say thank you, Elon Musk, for rescuing the astronauts? Can you say that?
I think Elon Musk.
See, this is what I'm saying. Can you say thank you, Elon Musk? If you don't get your ass out my goddamn face, like, who the hell you playing with?
For taking a chainsaw to the National Park Service, multiple services.
So,
aren't you an Eagle Scout?
What would you have to say?
Did you even graduate college?
No.
In fact,
I didn't go to college. I've been able to be pretty successful without a 4-year degree.
College.
Yeah, I did not go to college.
You're going to come to college and act like you know
so
fucking better
are we
than
gonna?
This man is. Y'all. If y'all can't like my video because y'all don't like me, y'all can at least like this video because y'all know that this man is wearing Charlie Kirk out, hanging him to dry. This man is completely obliterating Charlie Kirk in this debate. I'm sorry. This is literally a random debate that I pulled from Twitter. I didn't know what they was going to be talking about, but I'm glad that I pulled this debate, and this is the first time that I'm watching this man actually, do what he's famous for. So,
are we going to debate resumes or ideas?
Ideas.
Because if we want
a good idea to just defund every.
And look, and the man. He's so compliant. He just goes with the flow, and he just effortlessly. I don't know that don't even sound right, but he's effortlessly just eating eating this man up, devouring him, chewing him up, spitting him out, stepping on him. It's just so incredible to watch.
Major. Do you want to debate resumes or ideas? Because if you want to argue from authority as if you're somehow smarter than I am because you have a meaningless 4-year college degree, or do we got to say who's actually right or wrong? You're engaging in a logical fallacy when you do that.
You think it's meaningless to have a degree in construction engineering?
Honestly,
and be a
most
person who
college
wants to
degrees
build
are
this
largely
country?
meaningless. Yes, most college degrees are meaningless, and most of you guys are.
That's what I'm saying. Look, like, how do you debate this? How do you debate this guy if he is proved he got a degree? He's gainfully employed doing something that you said he would never be able to do, which is build anything for himself. Like, how do you even debate with him? Because it's like any point that this guy makes, you're not willing to concede. You're not willing to say, okay, you're right. You're not willing to say, okay, you have a point. Because that will also bring the debate forward. Sometimes your opponent will say things that make sense, that you can say, okay, well, I will give you that. But, you know, and this is a sign of a poor debater, someone that can't even just grapple with the fact that, okay, objectively, having a degree in construction engineering, having a job in construction, those are just good things objectively. For the country, we need more people like that, objectively. But then you know, it's just like, he's a piece of shit.
Being totally scammed by being here.
No.
Now let me further complete the point.
So getting educated is a scam.
Most times, first of all, it's not always an education, and you are perfect evidence that you haven't really been educated. You are hyper hostile. You have no.
Oh my! You know, this is so. How do people even take this man serious? Yeah. Oh y'all, we got Chef P talking about he turning him every way but loose. I'm telling you, hey man, your audio sounds a little muffled. Thank you for letting me know that. I appreciate you for telling me that. Let me know if this is a little bit better. I turn the volume down a little bit. Y'all let me know if that's better. Why is he at a college telling kids a degree that they're working towards is worthless? Chef P. How is he able to get away with this? And how are all these people rallying behind him saying crazy, idiotic shit like that while they're on their own college campus? This is what I'm talking about. Like, these people have been brainwashed. These people don't have minds. Okay, you said it's way better. Perfect. Thank you so much, Goddess Lena. I appreciate you for coming in. Y'all, let me know if my audio not sounding good. I may be able to fix it. Y'all ain't gotta be suffering through bad audio. I appreciate y'all being here. I do. I truly do. Even with the bad audio, suffering through it. But y'all, let me know if y'all hear any issues, or see any video quality issues or anything like that. Let me know so I could try to get those worked out. That way y'all ain't gotta suffer through bad production. All right, let's keep watching.
Humility. You have very little wisdom about how the world works, and you come and you want so badly to be recognized and noticed, you came with your own bullhorn to cut in line someone who patiently waited to ask the first question. What have you actually learned at this institution except that you're the center of the world and everyone must listen to you? In fact, there is a God and you are not him. And instead of...
Damn. No, he said, wait a minute, he said, hold on, let me go back a little bit. Yeah, listen to this.
You haven't really been educated. You are hyper hostile. You have no humility. You have very little wisdom about how the world works, and you come and you want so badly to be recognized and noticed, you came with your own bullhorn to cut in line someone who patiently waited to ask the first question. What have you actually learned at this institution except that you're the center of the world and everyone must listen to you? In fact, there is a God and you are not him.
Look. That is so funny. He said, how you gonna say that I'm the person that thinks that the world revolves around me and I'm the center of attention and I'm just, want everyone to look at me, when you're literally the only person over behind in this tent? You done hosted this entire event at a college campus, which you have never even graduated from any college. So you are taking over spaces that really you don't have any connection with, because you don't have any connection to anybody that's trying to get a higher education. You never tried it. In fact, you are saying that people who are doing it are stupid for doing it. And they ain't learning nothing. Why are you here? Because you think that you are the center of everybody's universe. You are the narcissist, projecting that shit on me.
And instead of you go to countries, or you go to campuses and agitate people for like this exact scenario.
I sit here and ask questions. You're the agitator,
you
not
say,
me.
Prove me wrong.
Yeah, correct. That's free speech.
That is, you're agitating in the fucking title. The name of what you're doing is prove me wrong. Because you're agitating people. You want people who have difference of opinions to come against you. You're an agitator. Stop playing like you're not. I would have more respect for you if you at least own the fact that you are an agitator and that's your whole MO, that's your whole career. It's not based off of your education. You're not doing this based off of any education. In fact, most of the shit that come out your mouth ain't based in any type of reality or facts. And you're simply belittling and talking about people. You literally tried to have everybody just go against this guy. Talking about Nazi. Like, you are so full of shit that it's absurd. He has a bullhorn and you have a microphone on his turf. Exactly. You on his shit. That's right. We got Stephen Nimley in the building. What's good, Stephen? All right, y'all. Let's keep watching.
But how are you having to? This is free speech, and yet you're upset about it.
Well, no, the way that you've conducted yourself, obviously you have a right to do it.
Do you think it's free speech whenever college students protest against Israel committing Gaza
sometimes
and getting black bagged?
Well, it depends.
In St. Louisiana?
Well, it depends. If they storm a library and are violent against other students, then not so much.
What about all the peaceful ones?
It depends on a case by case. But the students want another question, and I do agree with them, because you embody the worst of this generation, which is, and
are you looking in the mirror?
And I do look.
See, this is what I'm talking about. This is not no real debate. This is not a real debate. This is just you trying to hurl out insults to rile the people up to go against this little poor guy who had the courage and the balls and the intellect to go against you and fucking obliterate you on every talking point that you made.
In a mirror, you know what I see? I see a sinner that wouldn't act the way you do, which is constantly interrupting, someone that wants to always be the center of conversation, hyper narcissistic.
This is what I think. I think
attitude,
you're
personality.
Name two
also,
times you've changed your mind because of a debate.
I have changed my mind plenty of times.
Give
In
two
fact,
examples.
I used to be anti-death penalty, and now I'm pro-death penalty. I used to be more libertarian on drugs,
But are you
and now I'm
pro-life?
less
Are you
libertarian on
against abortion?
drugs.
Do you think
I am
believe
very much against abortion.
You're
in
against
fact.
abortion, even in a case.
Yes, I am.
Aren't
That's
you?
correct.
Wow, ladies,
Yes.
listen up. If you get, you're gonna have to hold their f***ing baby.
Okay, but let's ask you. Can I ask you a question? If I had an ultrasound of a baby conceived in, or an ultrasound of a baby conceived in a loving relationship, which one is which?
It doesn't matter. That's
no,
about the
because
context.
human rights do not stop based on the method of conception. Human rights are applied to all.
Wow.
In fact, did you know?
So rapists have more rights than a woman.
Well, actually,
this guy, I mean, he's not. Look, if that woman want to have an abortion, even if she's married, let that woman have an abortion. Why do you care? It is not affecting you. But what it will affect is the economy if that parent can't take care of that child. If that parent can't take care of the child, and you force that child to be brought into this world, who do you think has to pick up the tab for the children that are now being forced to be born? Taxpayers. So let the women choose what they want to do with their own bodies. It should not even be of your concern. Why do white men get to think that they have a say on what every female in the United States can do with their body? Like, if that's not narcissistic, you talking about this man thinking he the center of the world and think, no. Y'all don't get to choose what women get to do with their body. If women think it's bad, then they won't get the abortion. If they are okay with it and they want to get the abortion, let them do it. What is of no consequence in your life what these people do with their own bodies? I'm sorry. That's my opinion. I don't care who like it and who don't like it. That's just the way I feel.
Do you know that there's
About
someone?
the control of
do
their
you know?
body? You're
do you
saying
know
rapists
that
have
there's
more
someone in
control
this
than
audience?
the woman being
Did you,
raped?
there's someone in this audience that was conceived in. Can you tell me who it is?
It doesn't matter.
No, tell me who it is. Because
It doesn't matter. Why? What does that matter?
Because what matters is babies conceived in don't get less human rights just because they were conceived in a nasty, ugly, evil way. Human rights apply to all people.
You're talking about a person versus an unborn fetus.
Oh, so what's the difference between an unborn baby and a person? What is the moral difference?
Well, one is living and breathing.
Well, how is the baby not living in utero? It has a heartbeat.
It would not live without the woman.
Hold on, but my 6-month-old baby won't live without my mom. It won't go hunt and gather for itself. My 10-month-old baby won't hunt and gather for.
But nobody else. You can't put a fetus into another person and let them take on the rest of the cycle for that woman. What he's saying is that for those 9 months, the only person that can keep that baby alive is the woman. If the baby was truly a living life form, it would be able to live and breathe on its own. A 6-month baby can live and breathe on its own. Somebody else can pick up the slack where the mom is lacking, whether it be financially, whether it be for food or shelter. They can do that for the 6-month baby. Guess what? They cannot do that for a embryo or a fetus that's living inside of a woman. So he's making a valid point. Not to mention the fact that there are other health risks that women can actually face when trying to conceive or have a baby. So, the women should just be able to choose what's best for them. It should not be other people telling women what's best for them. especially another man, a man, somebody of a different gender. You don't even have the same stuff that the women have. How you gonna? Yeah, I'm sorry to go off on the tangent, but
itself. So how's that any different than a 2-month in utero?
It doesn't matter.
Well, hold on. No, answer the question. Answer the question. You used a degree of dependency argument.
Right. Have more rights.
No, I don't. I think that all human beings have rights because they're made in the image of God, and every human being has a right to life and not the right to be exterminated or extinguished.
Every human
just
being
because
has the right.
But this is the same person, this Charlie Kirk person, just to let y'all know, because this is what I've heard. I haven't pulled the clip or saw it or anything, but they say this is the same person that was agreeing that homeless people, or I'm sorry, not homeless people, that the death penalty should, I mean, he just said it. He agrees that the death penalty, in the death penalty. So how you agree with the death penalty, but you don't agree with abortion? Like, that don't even make sense. And then you say that you don't agree with abortion because of God and all this other stuff, but in the same breath you think that it's godly to kill people that you think did wrong? Like, I don't get it. I don't get it. These people are hypocrites to their core.
The life you just said.
Correct.
You wrote down.
Oh, and look, he about to probably point it out.
Death penalty. What the fuck are you talking about?
Okay, so, all right, so
it can't be both.
Okay, yes, it can. So
wow, so some lives are more important than others. That's what you're saying?
What did the person that was on death penalty do to get that punishment?
It depends on the crime.
They killed somebody.
No, that's not
if
always
you
true.
kill
It depends on
somebody,
the
then your
crime.
life should be taken
That's
from.
Not true.
Well,
it's dependent on the crime.
Hold on a second. Show me an instance of somebody who got the death penalty in America.
Don't burden me with the responsibility of educating you.
Show me an instance.
I love him. He said, "Don't burden me with the responsibility of educating you." That is hilarious. What's good, Rita? I post a video debunking some of the lies being told. Y'all, if y'all have a moment, make sure that y'all go check Rita Lane's channel out. She said she posted a video debunking some of the lies that are being told, so we definitely want to look at that. I have a lot of videos. This guy is knocking Kirk's hoodie. Telling a woman that she has to raise a child that reminds them of their abuser. That's effed up. We got Laura Reckon again. What's good, Laura? Thank you for being here with us. We're just covering, I know it's an unpopular topic, y'all. I know it's controversial. I know. But we're talking about it today. I don't know much about the Charlie Kirk person. So hopefully I have found some videos that was going to not only educate us about who he was, but also kind of give us some insight on, what's going on with the murder. So that's what we're talking about. But I'm telling you right now, based off of what I'm seeing here, it is not looking good for Charlie Kirk. It's crazy because he's saying that a rapist you can get raped and they get to have their seed live on in the form of a child. But if you commit a crime and you get charged with the death penalty, that's okay. You should have your life taken away. So you're saying that if you do a crime while you're actually physically alive, then you can have your life taken from you. But if a criminal creates a baby, then that criminal should be able to have that baby live and prosper and grow and pass on those genes and pass on. No, I'm sorry.
Of somebody who got the death penalty in America the last 30 years that did not commit a capital offense.
I don't need to.
It does not exist. So therefore, a baby in utero did not go kill somebody. Somebody on death row killed somebody.
Yeah,
Are you smart enough or
the
educated
woman-
enough to see the difference between a
so-
baby in utero who did nothing wrong or someone that...
See, I can't stand when he does the insults. If you're gonna throw your talking points out, throw them out, minus the insults.
Up a school.
Forget the
Do
baby.
you see the
problem
moral
is
difference?
women having control over their own body.
I agree.
That's the issue.
So I actually agree. In fact, I agree so much that unborn...
Yeah, especially when you get...
I agree so much that unborn girls in the womb should not be killed because their body should also be respected. If it's not your DNA, it's not your choice. If it's not your DNA, it's not your choice. Thank you for your time, and I hope you'll learn.
But it is their DNA. That's exactly who's they passing their genes on. What are you talking about? The baby wouldn't exist without the woman's DNA.
Something throughout your long life.
Suck it.
Thank you.
So then he want to cut the man's mic off.
This guy is all uppercase
Thank you.
thumbs and lowercase t.
Thank you.
And see the smug look like he think he done did something. All right, guys. So that's his debate. That's our first video, guys. We made it through. It's still like 2 minutes left of the video, but I think we get the gist. We're not gonna watch it anymore. I think this guy completely demolished this Charlie Kirk character. So we appreciate and we like him. Now, the next thing I'm going to point out, guys, is going to be the response from FEMA, the government entity. So there was a reporter who was doing, like, I guess, a spy cam type situation. And they released this behind the scenes spy cam footage of what this FEMA employee had to say regarding Charlie Kirk's death. But before we get there, oh, thank you so much. Chef P says complete hypocrisy. See, this is why he should have went to college. Right. He should have been the one that went to college, Chef P. I totally agree. All right, let's get into this next video.
Talking to anybody about the great Charlie Kirk assassination? It's also like, it's tough not to laugh at this stuff. You know what I mean? Like, he's a lunatic and like awful and kind of deserves it in his own way.
So how...
Y'all, that is so funny. Y'all heard what that man said? Oh my God, let's just keep watching.
does FEMA feel about Charlie Kirk getting shot?
Everybody's kind of laugh. I don't know. I mean, the people that are in charge of this place are like dipshits. Now,
Fox News. All right, guys. So, just off the first part, oh my God. So you have FEMA that's basically saying that he was a lunatic and he deserved what he got. So we're gonna see how that votes, but they released this, and let's just keep watching.
News reported that FEMA has put an official on leave from their department who stated online that Charlie Kirk was a racist, homophobic misogynist. Now, O'Keefe Media has a new expose on another FEMA official, and what he says about Charlie Kirk shocks the conscience.
I mean, listen, Charlie Kirk getting shot is crazy. Did you know who that was beforehand? The Charlie Kirk guy
Yeah,
that just he's a nut. He's awful.
On the night of Charlie Kirk's death, one of our journalists met with a section chief within FEMA named Sean C. Kelly for dinner in D.C. Sean Kelly works in USERA. There's a lot of acronyms in the federal government. That's the Uniformed Services Employment and
I didn't even know that they had subtitles for FEMA, but y'all, this man, he works for USERA, the Uniformed Services Employment and Re-Employment Rights Act. Okay. Y'all so silly. There have been robbers, drug dealers, and even falsely accused have been in death row. Yep, all types of people. So not just murderers, right?
Employment Rights Act section of FEMA. We didn't know that existed. In that section, they protect military reserve personnel to make sure they're taken care of during deployment for FEMA. In the first couple minutes of that meeting, the FEMA section chief started to indulge immediately about the murder of Kirk and said into the hidden camera that Charlie, quote, deserves it in his own way. And it's, quote, tough not to laugh at this stuff.
Have you spoken to anybody about the great Charlie Kirk assassination?
No, just my friends.
I mean, it's tough.
Not the great Charlie Kirk assassination. The great Charlie Kirk assassination. That's so funny.
Not to laugh at this stuff. You know what I mean? Like, not, it's political violence is not fun. Don't get me wrong. But like, just like how fucking, like, what he's a lunatic and like awful and kind of deserves it in his own way. If you disagree, that's totally fine.
No.
Great meme. What's not to love? Yeah, I am become meme. All that sort of shit.
The official at FEMA was asked how the entire FEMA department felt about Charlie Kirk, and he stated in his own words, quote, everybody's kind of laughing.
So how does FEMA feel about Charlie Kirk getting shot?
Everybody's kind of laugh. I don't know. I mean, the people that are in charge of this place are like dipshits. Now, I don't know how like the actual like leadership feels, but the rank and file are, I don't know, not concerned. It was, I don't know. It's very strange. I don't know. There's not like a ton of, I don't think there's like a ton of empathy for the guy.
When the meeting was over, Mr. Kelly from FEMA didn't stop. He was continuing to send pro-assassination memes of Kirk to our journalist on text messages that you can see here. During the ending of this meeting, we also learned the section chief anonymously signed an opposition letter against the Trump administration. You may remember this letter from last month, where FEMA employees signed a letter opposing the current administration.
All right, so that's pretty much the gist of this video. I think I did watch a little bit of this video, and so they're just going to talk about, he did do to
resist like
a
Trump
couple
administration.
Yeah, we're trying. I don't know. My buddy actually just got put on admin leave because there was an open letter that I signed, but I did it anonymously, that went to like the New York Times about the lack of preparedness, getting rid of any sort of like.
All right, so yeah, that's just talking about some things that the FEMA had to go through when they were dealing with Donald Trump. Some of them had signed an opposition letter. The ones who did it openly was placed on administrative leave. The ones who did it anonymously obviously were still employed. And so they were just basically outing him as being one of the anonymous signers. Obviously, it looks like their motive is to have this man fired. And so they released this information. So it doesn't look good for these people, whoever released this information. It doesn't look good for them, because in the future, whoever does interviews with them, they will know to be very mindful of what they say, and they can no longer trust whoever these people are that released this information. So that's really not a good thing. But do I agree with the guy saying it? They're at a casual dinner. He should be able to say stuff like that. He should not be reprimanded because of this information getting out. But that's just my opinion, and we know he probably is going to be. All right, so the next thing I want us to talk about, guys, is going to be this thing on Kash Patel. So we're going to start talking about this Kash Patel. It's not going to be very long, but this is the other thing that they were saying about the Kash Patel conspiracy part of Charlie Kirk. So let's look at this, because it was very interesting.
To my friend Charlie Kirk, rest now, brother. We have the watch, and I'll see you in Valhalla.
The threat, when you hide, you go into witness protection. There's different ways you can create an identity. It's much easier to have a shared identity, and so that's something that's commonly done. And do you allow them free somewhere, or do they go to what we call Valhalla, some holding place that's not able to be in communication with the rest of the world, but as a community, and then you can bring them out later on.
And I'll see you in Valhalla.
All right, guys. So they are basically saying that the Valhalla is alluding to some type of secret deep state program that is in place to house people who they want to remove from public view and bring back later on in some other type of form. All right, so because I needed some more information on what Valhalla was, I went ahead and pulled up pretty much the definition based off of Google, and it says Valhalla, Old Norse Valhöll, or whatever that says, Hall of the Slain, is a majestic hall in Norse mythology where the god Odin welcomes warriors who have died gloriously in battle. Led by Odin, the slain heroes known as Einherjar spend their days in the perpetual cycle of feasting and fighting for sport, only to be resurrected each morning to repeat the process, all in preparation for the final battle of Ragnarok. It says key aspects of Valhalla: home of the slain heroes. Valhalla is the afterlife for brave warriors selected by Valkyries and is considered great honor. Eternal feasting. All right, the feast is daily on a slaughtered boar that is resurrected, and they engage in ritual combat where there are slain and then revived. Preparation for Ragnarok, place of honor. Okay, so you gotta see, that's basically what Valhalla is, and in mythology that's what Valhalla is, but this man says that Valhalla is actually a government entity that houses people that they want to take off of the grid. So all right, guys, so the next conspiracy that we're gonna watch, this one was also pretty
Charlie Kirk is dead, and it exposed something vile and horrifying that I want to share with you right now, just kind of candidly. He was murdered while he's speaking in public to a group of college kids. And there's one part of this that I think should horrify you to the deepest parts of your very soul.
All right, guys, so this video is actually, I think it's going to be more about the government and like a cover-up and like psyop type deal. I think that's what this video is going to be more geared towards. So this one should be interesting as well.
Instead of a universal outrage, instead of every decent person saying this is insane and this is wrong, the internet seemingly lit up with these celebrations and cheers and memes, and people actually laughing and celebrating the murder of a man because he wore a different political jersey. So let that sink in for a second. And I don't think any of this is about Charlie Kirk, the person. And I don't think it's about whether you liked him or hated him or didn't even care. I think it's about the fact that political murder is somehow just another headline nowadays, and we scroll right past it. There is,
well, I think political violence is increasing. Social media, and with the radical nature of the rhetoric on social media and what people are posting, is desensitizing us to a lot of different things, including political violence and mass shootings. It's all just becoming a part of everyday life. You just hear it all the time. So, we are becoming desensitized to all of this hate and all of this violence, and that's a scary place to be in.
a whole new low for where we could go. And you have people online cheering like it's their team winning a Super Bowl. And what you're seeing is an evil mask slipping. This is a signal, and it's a signal that we, and I do mean we all, crossed into something that is a lot darker than just politics. This right here, what we're seeing, is what happens when violence becomes part of a political conversation. When actual TV networks air over and over clips that encourage people to see the other side not as neighbors that we might disagree with, but as enemies that need to be destroyed, as the threat to society. And you've seen,
I think that's exactly what Donald Trump does all the damn time. It feels like that's all he does, is try to position the left as the enemies that need to be destroyed.
I have no doubt we all have seen this. People in the media saying these people are a threat, these people are dangerous, maybe some violence is justified, and it's not fringe anymore. This is mainstream. And there are thousands of these clips out there aired to millions of people, kind of nudging, suggesting, maybe planting seeds that maybe a fist, maybe a bullet is a legitimate form of political debate.
You resist the temptation to run up and wring her neck.
Biggest terror threat in this country.
I'd like to punch him in the face. I said if we were in high school, I'd take him behind the gym and beat the hell out of him.
Punch some people in the face!
When was the last time an actor assassinated a president?
They're still going to have to go out and put a bullet in Donald Trump, and that's a fact.
A lot of people don't have the attention span to maybe stick with this, but I pray that you do, because I'm going to expose something here that's going to change everything for you if you stick around. But here's the irony, and
yes, y'all, I don't have the attention span to just look at these by myself. To be honest, if I had to do it by myself, I would not look at these videos, but I do want to kind of just hear what these people are saying, hear them out, and then we can make a determination as to whether or not, there's any legitimacy to what their claims are, or if it's just another, piece of propaganda that everybody seems to be giving.
what I think is a absolute concrete law of history. It's concrete law. The minute that your ideas require violence to enforce or spread, they are already completely bankrupt. Every tyrant, every failed ideology, every social collapse starts the exact same way. The debate dies, then violence takes the place of debate. And you can't argue with a gun. You can only kill with it. And when killing is the substitute for a conversation, society as a whole starts falling off a cliff. And we all, myself included, we all have been sold the biggest con of our entire life. And this is that the problem is left versus right, or Republicans versus Democrats. And that is the distraction fireworks show that they want us screaming about while they're doing something else. And this is a magician's trick, and I'm about to really show you what Charlie, God rest his soul, has kind of exposed here. If you turned on cable news today, you go in your living room, turn it on, maybe you scroll social media, what are you going to see? The absolute fringe. They're going to show you the loudest, dumbest, most cartoonish people from the other side blasted in your face 24/7. You're not being shown your neighbor or your coworker or the mom next door who...
This is true. The people in the media that's in front of the cameras are the most extreme versions of either side, to be honest. Most people are people who are just in the middle. However, those people are not entertaining. I find myself to be someone that's just in the middle. I don't know how to do all the shucking and jiving. I don't know how to do all the loud talking and the preacher tone, and I don't do all that. I don't know how to do all that. But the people who get the most attention are the people who do know how to do all that.
Votes differently. You're being shown a bunch of professional lunatics that are handpicked to make you think one thing. And the one big thing that they want you to think is, oh my God, these people are insane. They are the enemy. That's the reason that we're going downhill. And none of this is an accident. This is word for word, textbook psychological operations.
There we go. PSYOP. Psychological operations. This is what Jedediah Brown specializes in. Trying to create narratives that push the boundaries, and then he's so extreme and passionate when he talks that people believe it. That's how it works. They're not people, sheeple. People who don't want to use this. People who prefer their feelings over facts. People who listen to how people make them feel, and that's what they go off of instead of listening to the actual words that are coming out of their mouth.
And military PSYOPs manuals literally describe how you isolate a target audience, then you pump them full of a bunch of outrage, you create a tribal us versus them identity. This is straight out of a PSYOPs textbook. So why would we want to do this? Or why would PSYOPs want to do this? Because once you're locked into tribal thinking, you're going to swallow anything. You're going to believe any lie about the other side. You're going to cheer when other people suffer. You'll excuse things that you would never excuse in your own neighborhood if you watched it right in front of you and it was one of your neighbors.
Wow. He just spoke a word right there. Goddess Lena says, may we strive to build a society where differences are addressed through peaceful discourse and where every person is treated with dignity and respect. Opinions should be just that. Totally agree, Goddess Lena. You know, we should all be able to disagree without it coming to physical, contact. Miss Smart says, I don't have much of an attention span, but this Cutwater and Million got my full attention while I go back and forth washing clothes. Oh, thank you, Miss Smart. Yes, this is crazy. This is crazy, y'all. My attention span is very low too, so that's why I was like, if y'all want to go out and come back, I completely understand it. I just know that for myself, I couldn't just watch it by myself and actually take in the information. So I said, I'm gonna do it on live. I don't care if people watch it or not, but this gives me the opportunity to actually watch it and regurgitate and process the information. And then I can, I feel a little bit more educated about it.
This is exactly the playbook on how you get otherwise decent, kind people laughing at a murder on the internet. That is how you radicalize a country without firing a shot. And let me tell you something that you're not supposed to think about right now. You share more in common. You share more with somebody across the aisle than with a billionaire donor or some media executive pretending to speak for you. I don't think they want you to see that. They need you divided. They have to have you blind and full of rage, because a united, sane, connected public is the one thing that they actually fear. So how does a normal person, just a regular person, a guy who...
Wow, he said they fear having people actually come together and unite as one. They do not. That's what they don't want. That's crazy.
Who loves his kids, pays his bills, maybe argues politics at Thanksgiving. How does he turn into somebody who cheers at the assassination of a political opponent on the internet? This does not happen overnight. It is a formula, and I'm going to lay it out for you very plain right here. Number one is isolation. And this is where you don't just disagree with people anymore. You're told not even to interact with them. You don't have friends on the other side. Don't date them. Don't work with those people. You need to cut them out of your life. That is step one. And if you're paying attention, that's also step one of joining a cult. So step two is echo chambers. You surround yourself only with opinions that sound just like yours. Social media makes damn sure of this. And out.
Yo, this is so good, because he is hitting the points. Like, this is complete. This is what they do: isolate You cannot befriend or be a part of anybody who doesn't share the same ideological views. Yeah. Also, yeah, like he is on to something right here. And then the echo chambers, you got to be around people who share your same views so that they make you feel like you're actually right.
Algorithms serve you more of what already pisses you off. And this has been proven and documented in research. So that...
Let me go back a little bit so I can know which part he's talking about now.
You're paying attention, that's also step one of joining a cult. So step two is echo chambers. You surround yourself only with opinions that sound just like yours. Social media makes damn sure of this. And algorithms serve you more of what already pisses you off. And this has been proven and documented in research. So that rage gets recycled and concentrated like moonshine, like a moonshine still. And if you haven't caught on yet, this is step two of building a cult, a dangerous cult. So step three here is the tribal script. This is the us versus them narrative. Your side is righteous, their side is evil. Every single issue is framed like a holy war, and it doesn't matter if it's taxes or healthcare, it's suddenly life or death, and it's good versus evil. And if you add outrage and righteous superiority, and our brain chemistry starts...
The righteous superiority is really what they really be using that. The righteous superiority part, the holier than thou, the Christian part of it. We know some other people who do that too, who try to use that righteous superiority to justify their hate speech.
Going bonkers, crazy. That cocktail makes people feel morally justified in hating and silencing and celebrating violence. That is true radicalization. That's how you turn regular people into basically a sleeper agent without them even knowing. The bad news is that what I just said is only the beginning, and it's happening on both sides of the imaginary aisle. Here's the truly horrifying part. All of this, it's not just a result of some advertising and algorithms. This is deliberate, and I would stake my reputation.
And the crazy thing is, he's right. It is happening on both sides of the aisle. I would argue that it's happening a lot more on the right side, but it is happening on both sides of the aisle. The crazy thing is what if both of these sides of the aisle, when you go up all the way to the top, it's the same person controlling both sides? We think that we in opposition, but we all working towards the same agenda. We're playing into their hands. Living in the Matrix.
On it. This is not just some accidental byproduct of politics. This, what we're seeing right here, is engineered step by step to keep you outraged and blind and keep you just kind of stabbing and punching at shadows. All the while, this real power, the people who profit from division, stay completely untouchable. So keep this in mind while we're talking. You have more in common with someone who voted different than you did than the people that you see parading their narratives on TV. Please keep that in mind forever if you're able to. An absolutely brutal truth that nobody really wants to face. Assassinations that, especially like we saw with Charlie Kirk, assassinations are not usually about stopping some kind of evil. They're about stopping ideas. You don't kill somebody because their argument was weak. You silence them because you were terrified that their words are working on people. Think about Martin Luther King Jr. He wasn't murdered because he was irrelevant and he had bad ideas. He was killed because his vision of racial and economic unity and equality was gaining traction in the country. If you look at President Kennedy, JFK, he wasn't taken out because he had no power or had crappy ideas. He was killed right as he started.
So it's the impact that these people are making is the reason why they're being taken out. And although again, like I said, I don't know who Charlie Kirk is. I'm learning about him. But apparently he was having a big impact. And I think that we know. I'm starting to feel like I know. But we're going to keep watching.
Started poking holes in this weird, dark system's grip on our war and defense and secrecy. Mr. Rabin, this guy, Rabin, I think, assassinated in Israel. Nobody did it because he was a joke or because he was a laughingstock. He was killed because he was pushing in Israel for peace, and peace threatened power. Peace threatened power. History is unbelievably clear on this. If debate dies, when open conversation gets replaced with suppression or intimidation and ultimately violence, society walks into a death trap. There is not an exception to this. So the ideas that require censorship or intimidation or blood to survive, they are 100% of the time poison. An idea that can't survive in the sunlight has to live in the shadows. And that is the death spiral that we are in if we don't stop this shit right now. So let's look at the other hand in this magic trick. Remember we talked about there's some misdirection going on here. For decades, the press, the media was supposed to be our watchdog. They're going to find all the facts. They're going to hold the powerful accountable. They're going to keep people informed. And again, you can see this with your own eyes. It's not right versus left. Look closely at the media. It's not right versus left. This is darkness versus light. The media is a circus tent with a lot more in common to a casino. This is a propaganda machine.
I definitely agree with that, especially when it comes to mainstream media. You can't trust nothing that the news puts out nowadays. It's really starting to be kind of sickening when you watch things like Fox News. It's like disgusting to even watch Fox News because they try to push just one narrative all the time, but it is I could see good versus evil, or whatever he's talking about.
Churn.
And what's good? We got DJ Blood in the building, y'all. Say what's up. Miss Smart says, I simply love this man. Yes, he's very smart. He's putting us up on game, definitely. Very true that some people wield religion like a weapon. Charlie Kirk was not one who did that. His debate skills spoke volumes as to his effectiveness. Okay.
Out outrage. Let me just tell you exactly how this works. Facts are boring to people. Outrage is more likely to sell. It's more likely to keep you looking at the screen. That's their metrics.
Exactly. That's precisely right. I even know that because even as I started putting, my content for Tiffany Hilliard, all of my content where I was basically dogging her out, talking crazy about her, that stuff got more views than when I was actually just trying to release facts.
That's what they get paid based off of. So instead of showing you some kind of reality, they're showing you this carefully curated nightmare reel of the absolute worst of the other side. They're not giving you the whole picture. They're giving you the most extreme clips that they can find because they know that you're going to watch. They know that you're going to get pissed off when you see it all, and you're going to come back for more tomorrow. In fact, to me, if I'm very honest, if something doesn't fit their narrative, it is completely ignored. But if a story can be kind of twisted into a blame game, then it is. So they're not showing you reality in any sense. They're showing you a story designed to keep you loyal to your tribe, addicted to whatever their version, twisted horror movie version of reality really is. And what's truly disgusting, what I am genuinely nauseated by. We tend to think, oh yeah, the media is trying to sell ads for some pharmaceutical stuff, and they're trying to sell some car commercial breaks and things like that. That's not it. This is more about distraction. The reason is, while they get you frothing at the mouth over some clip of a protester screaming nonsense, the real enemy to all of us, these entrenched people that you have nothing in common with whatsoever, who decide the narratives, they bankroll politicians, and they write the rules, and you know that they win no matter who wins, right or left. You know that they're the ones getting the check.
So he's basically confirming what I'm saying. Basically, these people they basically work for both sides.
They're laughing at how stupid we are. So let's stop with the doom and gloom for a second here. And let me just kind of bring this back. If you strip away all of the slogans, all the hashtags, the little talking points of the media, what do regular people want? What do regular people, you and your neighbors, even the people that voted differently than you? We want our kids safe. We want our...
That's true. Everybody can agree that has kids that they want their kids safe. That shouldn't be a bipartisan issue.
Roof that doesn't leak. We want food in the fridge. We want a job that doesn't crush our frickin' soul. And we want some goddamn honesty from the people who claim to represent you, to represent us. And guess what? That guy that you don't like with the bumper sticker down the street, he wants the same thing. The woman with the MAGA hat at the grocery store that you thought was an idiot, she wants the same thing. The mom who is too busy working 3 jobs to even care about politics, she wants the same thing too. But what are they?
This is so true, y'all. You know, at some point we have to find some type of common ground. And the media makes us believe that it's virtually impossible for us to have anything in common with each other, that the left is just completely different from the right, that we're all just, you know, living completely separate realities. When the truth of the matter is that if you really just sit down and think about where we can have common ground, it's probably a lot easier. And the list will probably be longer for things that we have in common with our enemies versus the list of things that we don't like about them or that we don't agree with.
Not show you on TV. What is the one thing? It's that you have that much in common with the people who voted different than you. They will never show you that. They show you the screaming protester with the purple hair threatening to burn a bunch of stuff down. They show you this red-faced conspiracy guy spitting at the camera talking about crazy stuff. They show you the absolute fringe because fringe pisses you off. Fringe makes you hateful and angry. Fringe makes you think that the other half of the country has lost its freaking mind. There are absolute real studies on this. There's hard data.
That is so true. That even the wording, they always call the left lunatics. I mean, you know, y'all know how it is.
Proving that these algorithms and the media deliberately push exactly what's going to piss you off. Because the more enraged you are, the longer you're going to stay hooked. And they're literally feeding you a diet of enemies instead of neighbors. They're programming you to see the world through some kind of warped carnival funhouse mirror, where these loudest, weird-ass 1% of extremists look like 160 million people, and it's not. It is a lie. It is a lie. And if that's a lie, then let me say one thing that's true. And let me give you the truth here. You and that weird uncle that you argue with at Thanksgiving, you're not enemies. You're both being played. You're both being manipulated. And the second that you realize that, the second that you look across the aisle and see a fellow human being.
That is so true. We all being played. We are literally all of us that are engaging in this political warfare between the left and the right. We're all being played, and the people at the top are sitting down, looking down on us and laughing at how pathetic and easily manipulated we are. At some point we have to just, like the arguing, the bickering, we have to think bigger. We have to get beyond that part. You know, it's entertaining, yes, but it also has bred an environment of hatred, division, and where people just can't agree to disagree anymore. Like DJ Blair said, you know, agree to disagree. And yes, thank you for your services, DJ Blair. Y'all, shout out to DJ Blair for being a veteran. We truly appreciate your services and what you've done for the country. But yeah, let's keep watching, because obviously this guy seems like he's a veteran as well. He's also very well educated.
Instead of some caricature cartoon is the moment that the scam starts to collapse. And I think I know what you might be thinking here. So if it's not left versus right, then who the hell is pulling all these strings? Who benefits? So let me ask you, who benefits from you hating your neighbor? Because let's be honest, regular people don't profit from this chaos. Regular people don't. But someone does, and that someone is what I personally call the covert elite, because we have elite and then we have covert elite. And these aren't like a bunch of Looney Tunes cartoon villains in some underground lair. These are CEOs and mega donors to political campaigns. And you notice how they donate to both sides? These are political lifers, media conglomerates. These are the people who cash big ass checks no matter who wins the election. They operate on both sides of the aisle because the sides pay out. They don't care about your values. They don't care about your family or your future. They care about one thing, and that's control. And let me tell you, division is the cheapest, most effective tool ever invented for that. Look at how psyops are described in military doctrine. You identify your target audience, you feed them carefully selected information, and you push their emotion until their behavior changes.
He's so right. Cheap and easy to do.
This isn't theory. That's written down in black and white. And it's the same exact playbook that's being used on you and me, my family, my parents, all of us. Except this time the battlefield isn't Afghanistan. It's not some country in the Middle East. It is your living room. It's your Twitter feed. It's your nightly news. It's right here where you're looking at my face, whatever device you're watching this on. This is the battlefield. This is why both parties, you're hearing them scream about each other nonstop, but they never really seem to touch the things that matter. And you ever notice how there's always money for war, but there's never money to fix our roads? You notice how billionaires always seem to fund both sides of the elections. And if you've ever noticed, if you take a good look, corruption is a bipartisan issue. That's not incompetence. So whatever it is for the elites, they need you locked in this tribal us versus them tribalistic warfare, because if you ever woke up and you started to realize that you share more in common with the other side than a single millionaire donor on your own side, the entire game starts to collapse instantly. And I think if you realize this, you'd stop fighting each other. You'd start realizing that the right versus left is fake. And I think that purely terrifies them. So who knows how long this video is going to last on YouTube. But let me be crystal clear about one thing. The real enemy isn't your Democrat neighbor with the yard sign that pisses you off. It's not your Republican uncle who posts stupid memes on Facebook. The real enemy is entrenched power. And it's an entrenched power that thrives on one piece of fuel, and that fuel is chaos. The real enemy is those people who profit when you are divided and distracted, and most importantly, when you are dehumanizing your fellow Americans. This was never about left versus right. It was always about the people versus the powerful. So here's the starting point.
Yeah, Status Quo says he's very lucid and believable. Yeah, you know, he does come off authentic, genuine, and confident in his information, but not arrogant or cocky. He's very believable. And so, I mean, I believe what he's saying.
It's just sanity. Just plain, everyday, common sense sanity. And ask yourself, do you genuinely want political opponents murdered in the streets? Do you want your neighbor dragged through the mud because they voted differently? Of course you don't, because you're a sane human being. And that means that you're okay. And sanity right now is the most rebellious act that you can commit in this country for right now. Sanity is refusing to let CNN or Fox News or Twitter decide who your enemies are. It's looking across the aisle.
Now, this was definitely conspiracy related, but this gave us a lot of good information. Like, I feel like I am coming away from this video a little bit better equipped to handle this environment that we're finding ourselves in right now. So kudos to this guy right here. I got the video off of Twitter. I can't really tell you the link or anything like that. I just pulled these videos. It's so many of them, but this guy spoke a word today, and yeah, I need to find out who this guy is.
That's probably imaginary, and saying, you know what, I disagree with your ass, but you're not the devil. Sanity is truly openly saying violence is not politics. Violence becomes the death of politics. And true sanity is seeing just the weird idiots on the news and realizing that's not the norm. That is a cartoon that's curated for you. And the second that you stop playing the outrage game and you refuse to cheer for blood, which I hope you didn't do, you're already breaking the spell if you're there. I genuinely believe in my heart that sanity is contagious. And when one person refuses to take the bait, the echo chamber starts cracking a little bit. 10 people refuse, it starts breaking open a little bit more. And let me be super clear here. When millions of people, if this were to happen, or were to refuse, the machine will collapse. I guarantee it. We don't need permission to stop being pawns on the board. The minute that you decide right now that you will not be programmed into hatred, then you have started to win. And that's the...
You know, I like this guy, and I think that I'm going to take some of his advice moving forward. We gotta break this cycle of pushing hate and, you know, division amongst each other, because that's to me, you know, now that I'm watching this, we're feeding into exactly what they want us to do when we start engaging in that type of rhetoric against each other. You know, even with Jedediah, you know, now that I think about it, I mean, I'm gonna have to really put what he's saying. I'm gonna have to really process what he's saying and determine how I want to move forward. But it is making a lot of sense.
First step to being sane, and it starts with you. Mr. Charlie Kirk, his death was a mirror for all of us, and it's a mirror showing us how that we have fallen, because when we see murder being celebrated, when we see neighbors that are treated like enemies, that's the signal. And I think the good news here is that the machine only works if we feed it. It only runs on our clicks and our outrage and our willingness to see half of this country as a horrifying monster. If you starve this, it's going to die. It's as simple as that. Just think about your neighbors. Look at the people around you. Your neighbors, your co-workers, the parents at your kids' school. Do they really look like these dipshits that you see on TV and on social media? Do they actually match these memes and all the screaming clips and stuff? Hell no. They look like you. They look like me. We're tired and overworked. We're worried about bills. We're praying.
Ain't that the truth? Thank ya. Damn, man, why you and I thinking like, let's find them. Let's do it. We're gonna.
And I don't think it's about whether you liked him or hated him or us than there are of them. And the second that we remember that, the second we refuse to be divided against each other, which is fake, the game is permanently over. And I say this as the brainwashing expert and the psyops expert. The choice is absolute.
Oh, okay. Y'all couldn't hear me? Okay, y'all can hear me now? My bad. Thank you. Okay. Okay, so, all right, now that y'all can hear me again, we're going to figure out who the man is. I think I'm be able to figure it out. I might be able to go into my history or something. But that was a great video for us to kind of move into the next part of the live, guys. And the next thing that I want to start talking about is going to be mostly real conspiracies, y'all. So this is going to be like the radical, crazy, I think, conspiracies. At least the next one is, because it says, because of the title of the video, I'm pretty sure this one's going to be pretty crazy. So let's look at this conspiracy video and y'all let me know.
So I'm going to start to cut. This is where I had that situation where I had an extra freak out on set.
So they're showing this man like a costume, designer person who's using a fake neck. You know how they do like the gun scenes and you know how they get shot. They're basically saying that they think that this could have been a staged shooting that wasn't really real.
This is always I think, a very nerve-wracking piece, because you don't exactly know for sure that you are in the right place, and also, you are using a pair of live scissors on next to an actor, and the whole crew are watching sometimes, and you're a little bit nervous. I just get you to turn a little bit towards the mic. There you go.
That neck looks so real. I thought that was really that man's neck.
These are a very, very fine pointed scissor. They snip through foam really, really well. And also they've got a lot of control over the blade.
Yeah, that's a fake, it's a fake neck.
It's a little bit lower than I wanted to be, but that's actually not a bad thing. Regarding the pale colour of the foam on the inside, some people like to paint that red. I don't. Your flesh is naturally white inside. I'll bring you back to this position. And I kind of like the white because it's going to go red very, very quickly. And I like that. I really do. I like this. Now, Mike, if you drop your head down, just relax. See, it's almost like I can finger the wound back in. It's almost like it's undetectable.
3, 2, 1.
Creating this hit took an air pressurized.
So they basically show you how it goes with the blood splatting out. I don't know if you guys saw the video. It's circulating on Twitter of the actual shooting that took place with Charlie Kirk. So if you haven't seen the actual video, you can go to Twitter and they show it with, the blood gushing out and everything. So you see the whole thing. I'm like, oh my God, I couldn't believe that they just had that available for people to see, but it is out there. And so what they're saying is that in this video, they're saying that it could have been manufactured with a fake neck. this race isn't really allowed. I know, right? I know. There's a possibility that he is still with us. Okay, from a distant memory, I believe the man's name is Chase Hughes. Okay, that's great. Thank you for letting us know that. We are going to follow up. I know Goddess Lena is going to follow up, and I'll do it after this show. So that's the next one, y'all. All right, the next video that I wanted us to look at. This is what they're saying. This is what this guy is saying about the shooter. So let's look at this conspiracy theory that this man is basically saying about the shooter.
Hold up. So this is the guy. This is the guy that shot Charlie Kirk JFK style. So let's recap. So he goes to a roof, changes clothes, shoots Charlie with one perfect shot, changes back into his original clothes, disassembles the rifle, then reassembles the rifle and throws it into a bush. Got it. They said it was 20.
Yeah, that we put it like that. It do sound pretty far-fetched.
2-year-old Tyler Robinson from Utah, who they said was a lone gunman. And this is the rifle they said he had. So how do you do all this in...
You know what? Actually, what I'm going to do, guys, I have a few more videos that we need to watch, like a few more videos. What I'm going to do, because I don't know if this is actually going to stay in the live because of my system crashing. I know you guys can hear me, but the last time I came back, when the video actually recorded, what's on my channel isn't the full live video. It actually stopped where my first technical issue was. So I think that may be the case in this live video as well. So what I'm going to do is stop the video here. Okay, I think that we've gotten a lot of information. Before I stop the video, though, I do want to leave us with another little moment of some, hopefully maybe a life hack or some information that you guys can use to enhance your lives. So I want to play this video and y'all pay attention to this video.
This method works 100% of the time. Go into the silence. Go and sit down quietly by yourself for 30 to 60 minutes. 30 to 60 minutes. Most people in our society have never sat quietly for 30 to 60 minutes in their entire lives. Yet I will tell you this, that any problem that you have, any difficulty, any challenge, any goal that you want to accomplish, if you'll go into the silence and sit quietly and then listen to the still small voice within, you will find that at a certain point, probably at about 25 to 30 minutes, your mind will go completely clear, and then a flow of ideas will start to flow into your mind. You'll feel energy welling up inside you, and at a precise moment as you sit there in complete silence, no cigarettes, no coffee, no music, nothing, just complete silence, at a particular moment, your mind will go clear, and wham, exactly the answer you need will come at exactly the right time.
All right, guys, so that's just some food for thought. We started the show off, like I said, talking about what happens when you eat and you're in a negative headspace. If y'all don't remember that, and for the people who wasn't here,
this is why you do not eat with people you don't like. Watch this.
You say one of the things that you should do is never eat with people you don't like.
Because your state of awareness will influence how your food is metabolized. There was a study done in Ohio State University where they were feeding rabbits diets that were extremely high in cholesterol. And they found, to their amazement, there was one group of rabbits that never got the high cholesterol levels. After a while, they found out that the technician who was feeding these rabbits, instead of just throwing the food at them, he would stroke them and pet them and cuddle them and kiss them and then feed them the same poisonous food. But now, as a result of that experience of happiness, they made chemicals inside their brain and the body that turned the cholesterol into a completely different metabolic pathway, making the crucial difference between life and death from what kills more people in our civilization than anything else. So it's not just the food you eat, but what your awareness, what your consciousness and your state of emotions is at the time you're eating. It will metabolize the food into an appropriate or inappropriate metabolic
And that's
pathway.
why if you're somebody like me who's a stressful eater, you know, you eat, and rather than confront whatever the problem is, you eat to ease the stress,
Well, then
it turns into something else.
Yes. See, your state of mind can convert nectar into poison and the other way around too, poison into nectar. What happens inside your body is influenced by your consciousness. So it's very important. In fact, one of the things I tell people is if you're not feeling good, skip the meal.
All right, guys. So 2 very important things to leave us with. If you are eating, make sure that you are in a positive headspace, guys. And just in life in general, try not to let all of the crazy headlines that have been plaguing our timelines, try not to let it bog you down so much and put you in such a negative place. Try to remain positive. Go outside. Let your feet touch the grass. You guys, take 60 minutes out of the day, just 60 minutes, and just meditate. Don't put any music on. Don't have anything going. Just complete silence. You and your thoughts. Yeah. And let's see if that works for us. This is a work in progress for all of us. I'm also going to be trying to practice some of these things as well. And I'm gonna let y'all know how it works for me as well. But thank y'all so much for being here with me. Miss Smart says, thanks to whomever found Chase Hughes. I'm following him now on Instagram. That's what's up. Silverback Gorilla said, thanks, bro. Needed that. Appreciate you. Yes. All right, y'all. So thank y'all again for being in here in this live with me. If you haven't done so already, do me a huge favor. Press the like button. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. I have so much more conspiracy videos to share with you guys. So make sure y'all hit that notifications bell because I think they're going to be interesting. Yeah. And until the next video, guys, I will see y'all, I guess, on the next one. I might come back today. I might come back tomorrow. Y'all, you never know. But I will see y'all on the next video. Bye, guys.